god, it's so ominous. What could it be? Listen, I know I've done that before. I do want to honor your requests, but I can't start the fucking video with something like I don't know, like this is what I need, something with high energy. Not that I don't. I had no idea, Ghosty. You were a punk ska fan. Thought you were just a straight up Ramones punk type. But hey, whatever. This is cool. They made a tribute album with Rancid that's actually pretty cool. I put another one of those. I put one of those songs on there for this. They did like this acoustic version of this song, which was kind of cool. Anyway, guys, how you doing, motherfuckers? What the fuck is going on? It's a Saturday night. It's right before the fucking Rangers are gonna play. Not that I mean, I have limited caring about the Rangers, other than my hate for them. But I want them to get through their fucking series so that we can beat them in the next series if that happens. Anyway, let's dive right in because you guys had some fucking interesting questions at the end, and I want to go over. I'm only going to do 2 episodes because I think 3 is pushing it as far as time limit is concerned, and I don't want to rush through it the way I rushed through the last one because I don't want it. All right, here, cheers, bitches. Episode 5 of Daredevil. We start off seeing how Matt Murdock sees the world. Now, here's the thing. The one thing I do like about the show is that they don't force feed us, the Matt Murdock vision. They kind of it's more or less most of the time us watching him kick ass. But in this episode, for the very first time, we actually get a glimpse of what he actually sees when he's looking at something. When he looks at Claire and she kind of starts coming into shape and everything. I got to see, if I saw everything on fire like that, I'd probably be a relatively upset person. But whatever. But anyway, one of the things that stuck out to me in that particular scene, though, is he was trying to describe to Claire, like, how do you see what you see? And there was one line that I think was a nod to the original Alien. He said micro changes in air density was one of the things that he said that contributes to the way that he sees things. And that's actually how Ash created the motion detector for the motion tracker for Aliens, for Alien. And then they, improved upon that model for the second movie. So I thought that was kind of fucking cool. They show Wilson and Fisk's respect for Gal, and I think that's going to be like something that later on down the line, her character is going to come back into play in either other series or more Daredevil or whatever. She's going to be back in some fashion, and hopefully they reveal what's going on with the mystery of that character. I love how they do that. Wilson Fisk showing his respect for her means that he's a guy that doesn't really show too many people respect, but he shows them respect. Or shows him respect anyway. I like the quote, "A rising tide raises all boats, Leland." Just the way he talks is so fucking cool. The other thing about that fucking episode that I really liked a lot is when the cab driver pulls in with the singing Chinese guy, and then they go inside, and then they do this camera angle thing where it just kind of spans and goes. The camera just goes around the fucking cab driver, and then when it comes to the front, there's fucking Daredevil. You can almost barely see him. He's like a silhouette. And then when the guys come out, and they continue to fucking span around, and when they come back around to him, you can barely see an image coming out, and all you see is dudes getting hit. It was a fucking very, very, very well filmed scene. From great camera angles and him ultimately kicking some serious fucking ass. And then at the end we got the old Oh, the other one thing that sticks out, another thing that sticks out also is that in this episode we get to see Nelson and Murdoch helping the little people, which is something that they always done. You know, even in the future we'll see hopefully more of Foggy Nelson getting frustrated by the fact that Matt Murdoch will do, you know, cases for chickens and, you know, food and shit like that. So that's always something I really enjoyed from the comics as well. I've hurt people and I'm going to hurt more. That fucking scene blows my mind every single time, just because the more I watch it, the more I kind of understand it. He's not bragging, he's not trying to show off to Vanessa. It's actually him stripping himself down. Wilson Fisk is stripping himself down, and for the first time truly exposing who he is to Vanessa, and it's a vulnerable state for him because he's not 100% sure that, you know, he doesn't really know whether or not she's going to be like on board with what he's saying, or if she's gonna curl up in a little ball and be frightened and run away. But we all know how it ends up. So the romance kind of gets squashed. So for Daredevil in the same episode. So it's kind of like Wilson Fisk is getting together with Vanessa, and Murdoch is choosing his own path, and you know, choosing to go off alone and not burden the women that in his life that he's with. So all around, pretty decent episode. There was good stuff there. Episode 6, we got Public Enemy #1, motherfucker. You know, at the end of episode 5, they see, you know, him getting cornered by the cops, which is fucking great because we've all seen that a million times in the comics. And, you know, they underestimated the fucking shit out of him. Of course, Murdoch carefully calculated how he was going to do it. He said he thought about it. He had enough time. He's gotten all the pictures in place, and then he decided the best way to go was to let them handcuff him and then fuck him up after that. But he got the one cop he grabbed by the face and then just slammed him down to the fucking ground. It was brutal. All right, so. Also in this episode, we also get Ben Urich gets involved in the scene, and when he comes into the scene in front of the warehouse, it kind of changes the scope of Wilson Fisk's plan. Originally, Wilson Fisk was like, go in there and kill him, or just clean it out, and I want this problem resolved immediately. But Ben comes on the scene, and all of a sudden it turns into a media circus, and he knows it's not a reporter that he can just buy off. So instead, he decides to make it a fucking circus and then frame the Daredevil. Otherwise, it was interesting to me the way that kind of worked. Like, there was just one component that changed the whole entire scenario. We finally get to have a conversation between Daredevil and fucking Kingpin, and it's a great little face-off over the phone where, you know, Daredevil's saying, I'm going to catch you, and he's like, no, you're not, and he's very, very confident about that. But one quote I liked is, there's a couple quotes I liked, and one of them's from, just two more things, and I'm done with this. There's two quotes that I kind of pulled out of there, and there's one from Wilson Fisk regarding Daredevil, and he was saying, it's not the mask, it's not the skills, it's your ideology, and he was referring to what makes him dangerous, and I thought that was kind of a cool quote. And then Vladimir, the Russian, had said, downstairs after they kind of got out of the place a little bit, he said, from the moment you put on the mask, you got into a cage with animals. And I don't know why these things stick out to me, but they do. And I like the fact that they were using the underbelly in that episode of Manhattan to get around, because that's something that also Daredevil winds up utilizing in the future, I believe, at least in comics and whatnot. But anyway, let me see if I can actually get to some of these Q&As. Not 100% sure I can or not. I just want to let you also Spawn, just so you know. I did have your song on there. It was playing in the background earlier. Just so you know. Alright, Ghost wanted to know what I thought about the BVS trailer. I didn't like it. I know you were hoping for more, but I'm going to run out of time, so that's about it. That's about all I can tell you. It didn't do much for me. I'm kind of indifferent to it. You also want to know after Daredevil, who's my favorite villain or who's the best villain, and it's got to be Fisk, but he's got an unfair advantage. They had 13 episodes to build his characters, and so right now he's the most solid villain in the MCU just because of all the time that they had to build his character, and I think I've been over that before. Spawn wanted to know what I would do if in a perfect world, blah blah blah, and what I would do if I had all of the characters in the MCU. I kind of skipped over that, but I think he was saying what character hasn't been announced hasn't been confirmed for Civil War that I would most like to see in Civil War, and what's the catalyst for the whole thing. So to answer your question, I think part of your question anyway, Punisher is definitely the guy that I want to see. I want to see two things from Punisher in Civil War. It's probably not going to happen, but I do want to see it. Civil War scooping up Spidey in the comic, I thought was the best part of the fucking comic, and until I saw him deliver him to Captain America and Captain America's disdain and that for Punisher's style. I just want to see those two in a scene together where they're just like, Punisher's like, fuck you and all this, and he does things his own way. I kind of like that rogue that just kind of goes out. Even though Captain America kind of plays the rogue sometimes, Punisher's the true rogue. He does things his own way, plays by his own rules, and you got to admire that sort of catalyst. I don't know, maybe it's going to come from Age of Ultron. The catalyst that's going to spark up the whole Registration Act, it could come from Age of Ultron. It could be something else. No matter what, it's going to be some sort of mistake made that caused loss of lives, I would imagine. But is the Registration Act a worldwide thing, or is it just going to be an American thing? That's the question. So I kind of need to know a little bit more before that. That's all I got for you on that, guys. Rob Moore wanted to know how I felt about the Ant-Man trailer. I laughed out loud a couple of times during it. So this Ant-Man trailer hasn't turned me around, but it has me more optimistic than I've been for the movie. Well, actually, I haven't been optimistic at all. I've just shown nothing but pure disdain and hatred for Paul Rudd. But that's just one character, right? So what if he's, Ant-Man, Oh, God. Patrick Ford had some beer questions. He wanted to know what my favorite domestic and foreign beers are. And foreign is Guinness, Belhaven, Boddington's, and Newcastle. Domestic is Sam Adams, Killian's, and Miller Lite. Hope that answers that for you. Jacob Fudge wanted to know what movie I don't want people to know I like. I kind of own my geekdom, but if there's one that's on the list that I'm not, I don't want to go around shouting at the rooftops. Here I am. It's Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars. I like the show, so I like the movie, and that's it. I mean, other than that, I like a lot of shit, and you own it. You know what I mean? You like what you like. You gotta fucking own it. It's like, fuck it, I don't give a shit if you don't like it, I like this shit. So, there's that, And by the way, while my middle finger's up, fuck you for your question, Vega, god damn it. Well, the answer to your question is, of course, I'm just disappointed that they lost, because I know that they're a better team than that. But the Caps came to play, and they're a really good fucking hockey team, and I didn't expect them to roll over and play dead for us, at both times at home. But we've proven that we can beat them at home, and now we go back to the island. Do I think we can win the series? Not if we play the way we did on Friday. But if we play the way we did on Wednesday, yeah, we can win. We can win it in 6 if we play every game the way we played on Wednesday night. If that answers your question. Anyway, that's all I got for you motherfuckers. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the participation. Love you all. Forgive you for that fucked up question, Vega, making me all mad. I'm depressed. Depressed all day for them. Peace.